Hello and welcome to Jurassic Park. I mean, Literary Gladiators. The show where we discuss and debate literature in all of its forms. If it's written work, it's game. Let's meet the panel.
I'm Dan.
I'm Jesi.
I'm Riley.
And I'm Josh. And today we are going to Jurassic Park. Or, more specifically, we're going to be talking about Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton.
I'm disappointed. I was totally ready to see some dinosaurs. But now we're just talking about them.
It was interesting that it almost seems as if earlier in the year I became a great enthusiast for Neil Gaiman. But it seemed like there was a great Neil Gaiman train. But with Michael Crichton, it almost seemed like I don't know if it was the fact that there was a Michael Crichton fan train, or if I just watched a lot of Ellie's videos, where it's Michael Crichton, Michael Crichton. Hello.
Subliminal messages.
Yeah. I've got dinosaurs in the background.
Flashing at you, you don't even realize.
Yeah. It's my theme song.
That happens in more than one video too. Dan, you have a discussion starter?
Do I?
You're the one.
Okay.
You were assigned to the discussion starter.
This is like it's kind of what the theme of the book is. Do you think it's right to kind of play God to bring back a creature that was extinct back to life? Do you think that's a good idea?
Good question. No.
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 I agree. No.
No.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I don't need to explain that.
It was
one.
an
discussion
No.
over.
We're done.
I think it was an interesting concept to do something of that nature, not because, but they were more so doing it because part of it was scientific accomplishment, but the other part of it was
it was not
capitalist.
No. It was all like, how can I make money? And this is like the
For some of them,
perfect book where you're like, just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Well, here's like
For Hammond, it was about money.
Yeah.
For other people, they thought it was a fascinating idea.
But he's the one that hired
If
him.
it wasn't if it wasn't
They are
incredibly
getting paid.
capitalist,
So.
then these people wouldn't. Then they would. I mean, Hammond could give rat's rear end less about whether it was dinosaurs or dodo birds, but.
I thought I chose dinosaurs. Like that's a dangerous creature. Like
Yeah.
there's so
But
many
they're-
other animals that are
But
extinct
they're
that
a
you could bring
fascinating.
back.
But dinosaurs are among the most fascinating extinct creatures.
And he's not wrong when he says, like, kids are obsessed with dinosaurs. Like,
Yeah.
Chassie is 8 years old. She's been obsessed with Jurassic Park and dinosaurs. I brought her to the Museum of Natural History, and she could name every single skeleton in there without even reading it.
I was
She
obsessed with
knew.
dinosaurs as a kid too in
Yeah.
elementary school. So the thing is, yeah, it is kind of true because the thing is, me especially, I grew up with Barney. That wasn't
Yeah.
technically
That was a dinosaur.
dinosaur.
Well, he was
and a
So-
pedophile.
yeah, that too.
Well, that's
But-
debatable. But, yeah, like things like dinosaurs are things that kids really like. And the thing is, yeah, I was obsessed with dinosaurs, then it became dragons. Then it just became other stuff that I'm not going to say. And then basically, back to dinosaurs. So, so pretty much me as an adult, I'm into dinosaurs again. Plus the thing is, we still have Jurassic World movies coming out.
That's what made Tim a fascinating character in Hammond's grandson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I read him and I was just like, oh, this is Chastity if she were a boy.
And
Yeah.
I despised Lex with a passion.
Oh my god, I wanted to murder her. Like, alright,
She's more
that
annoying in
sounded
the book
bad
than it is in
because
the movie,
she's a
though.
child,
But
but I was just like, oh my god, you're about to die. Shut up.
If you're stuck on the top of a tree in a drastic situation, your first instinct is going to be, help me, I need your help. You're at the mercy of the person, not, oh, na-na-na-na-na-na, you're afraid of heights, na-na-na-na-na-na.
Don't taunt the dinosaurs!
Lex was, I think, with the greatest respect to Michael Crichton, he
Rest
did
in
a
peace.
he did a terrible job.
He was trying
Putting-
too hard with her.
Yeah, he did a terrible job creating a brat.
Like, don't get me wrong, like, kids are annoying.
Yeah.
Like, they can totally be annoying, they can totally be like that, but when you put a child in a situation where they're about to get eaten by a dinosaur, they're not going, I'm hungry. I want a hot dog. Can you make me a hot dog? And it's like, you're being chased by a Tyrannosaurus Rex right now.
Yeah.
And you're worried
And I
about a
think
hot
it's like
dog.
part of the Velociraptors too.
Yeah. It's like,
Here's like
Tried too hard.
even reading that same part, like which I think that part was in the movies too, where the Velociraptors are chasing them.
Mhm.
All right, I hated her screaming. All right, all I could imagine was the screaming when I was reading that part in the book.
Yeah.
And by the way, the thing is, I know the characters in the book aren't the same as they were in the movie, but
Yeah.
I imagine
In the
them like
movie-
Jeff Goldblum in them.
In
like,
the movie,
young
they
and old
compromise
characters.
them. They switch the ages. They wanted to create a sense so that there's more female empowering characters.
Yeah, I don't know. I still imagine many of the characters as they were in like, you know, the book. Like the one guy, I still imagined him as, you know, Samuel L. Jackson. You know, I cannot get the movie out of my head.
I
But
have
like
to
that's
say,
how I mentioned
I
it
read
in
the book. For,
I was gonna say I'm actually pretty grateful that I haven't seen the movie in such a long time. That like when I read this, I totally reimagined everything. It wasn't anything really connected.
But Jeff
to
Goldblum.
the
Yeah.
I never saw enough of the movie. Period. I've only seen clips of the movie here and there.
Really?
You're
haven't seen
missing
it?
out. It's a good movie.
Dude, I'll let you
Yeah.
borrow my DVD.
I may check it out.
Well, I have to. Well, I just told you the Chassie's favorite part is when the Tyrannosaurus Rex and he goes and hides in the porta potty.
That's
Him
my
in the porta
favorite.
potty.
That's my
She
favorite
just sits
part
there
as
like,
a kid.
I got eaten in a porta potty.
Yeah.
Yeah, good thing he was on a toilet because, you know, if that happened to me, I would have.
That was
Yeah.
that was just in the movie though.
Yeah, that was just
Yeah.
in the movie, but
My
it's
brother
like
and I used to like
that's fun.
count down
That
until
would-
that part.
That would be. It seemed, I know that Nidri was the first victim.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which,
In
he
the movie-
deserved it. So
I thought at first it would have been him that was the victim, but it was somebody else. But Wayne Knight, who played Newman on Seinfeld, played the role of Nidri. I can only imagine what is.
I mean, he kind of deserved it. He was trying to steal, like, you know, the eggs and stuff like that for personal gain.
yeah, which
Yeah.
okay, I
Mhm.
can understand that much money can motivate people,
Mm.
but like the whole reason the whole entire park is going to the potty
Yeah.
is
I
because
think you can say crap on here.
I wasn't gonna say crap.
I
I was
don't
gonna
know.
say the other one. But the whole reason is because he turned everything off and decided like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna take this stuff. I'll be right back to turn it on. I'm
Yeah,
gonna worry
also it's the
about
fact that the dinosaurs began reproducing without males.
Yeah.
That's because
Which is something that,
they-
like,
they use
dinosaurs
the
are kind
DNA of a
wild.
certain amphibian, the West African frog, which can change gender.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought
When-
that was really interesting because like that how that was tied in, and I know they talk about like the missing link in the movie and stuff,
Yeah.
but they don't really go into the fact that there isn't enough dinosaur DNA to actually bring back to life a dinosaur. So you do have to substitute
Yeah.
DNA, and it makes sense that
Yeah,
they would
and
But
do
I would-
that.
I would
Yeah.
think
we
they
have
would-
many ancestors of dinosaurs in the world,
Yeah.
like birds, crocodiles, turtles.
So to put in
and
a certain
frogs.
amphibian's DNA, of course, would make them reproduce and do what.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
But I think
Frogs,
that I think that they should have looked into that. I
They
think
should
because
have.
Yeah.
they're
There's
scientists
a lot
who
of stuff.
yeah,
they
that was a
should've
big
done
oversight
that
in their things, but it does kind of make it kind of interesting because maybe that frog was the best choice to recreate dinosaurs. Who knows?
However, if you want to keep it under one gender, that's got to go out of the equation
Yes.
Yeah.
because
probably not get a creature that can, you know,
That
change its
backfire.
gender.
yeah. Which that leads me to those graphs. I found them to be really mind-boggling, but then again, I'm not. That's not my area of expertise. What were your thoughts of the graphs and just the way that he used the computer?
Oh, like to keep an
Images.
eye on everything, or
Not the graphs, not necessarily, but more so the view of what the computers were looking like with the uploading and.
whatever it is we're looking for. I don't remember graphs.
Oh, there we
There
go.
we
they are.
go.
Yeah.
I don't think that was in my book. I read it online.
Yeah.
Yeah, more so
Oh, okay.
like
I remember.
this.
So this was like,
That,
is that under control?
like here, the numbers and like the zeros and ones. To me, that's what I.
Oh, right here.
Oh, this one, the system.
Let me see.
It was
Yeah,
impactful,
it's
but
different than mine.
Yeah.
Oh, where
They're
he
short.
couldn't start up the
Yeah.
yeah, they had to do that manually as opposed to off the auxiliary power.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't think this one's in mine because I don't remember this at all.
Mm-hmm. That was a pretty old mass market paperback.
This looks complicated. This is complicated. That's what I think about that. Like that looks like a
Yeah.
little
I
mind-boggling.
don't remember ever saying that.
Yeah, that was a
That
good version I read.
was, in a way, it would.
It looks, and that would confuse the heck out of me. And I mean, I can't even handle my smartphone half the time.
Mhm.
Like if I hit the wrong button and things come up, I'm like, I don't know what I just did. Help me! I turn to the 8-year-old and say, Chastity, what did I do? She's, yeah, it's easy. Boom.
I remember smartphone pretty well.
Yeah. Then again, computer science is not my background.
Yeah, no.
I took 2 years of it, and the thing is, I dropped out of it, and that thing's went to different
I
sides.
took one science class in my first time going to college, and I sat there for 3 hours trying to hold back tears because I was like, all I understood was the word computer and hacker. I think he said keyboard at one point. I don't know what he's saying.
Yeah, but didn't the power go out like at one point? So the thing is, they kind of were kind of stuck.
Yeah,
without half of them.
everything was running on the auxiliary power.
Yeah, because like
And-
and like the things that's what caused like the electric fence to run out. The things that's when caused some of the bigger dinosaurs to get out.
I was
Yeah.
rooting for Timmy to get that done himself.
Yeah.
Without his sister in the background telling him do this, do
And she's touching things.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still kind of pissed about the taunting dinosaur things. Like, why?
Yeah.
There's no reason to taunt a dinosaur.
Like a dinosaur is going to eat you whether you taunt it or not.
Yeah.
You don't need to piss it off more.
Yeah.
And then those dinosaurs, like, oh, this is a cute one. I named him Ralph because he looks like a.
Okay, so aside from it actually being a dinosaur, I totally want a Ralph. Like that and like a baby velociraptor
Yeah.
as they were talking about it in the lab. I'm like, oh my god,
I
it's
would
so
like to have a
cute.
herbivore, one that
Then you
wouldn't
actually
eat me,
think
you
about
know?
it.
Yeah, I was like,
That's
okay,
terrifying.
yeah.
But I know
could take
herbivores
care
grow
of
to be pretty huge. Like I think like a brontosaurus is like the biggest
Yeah.
dinosaur that exists, even though it only eats leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I got a baby dinosaur, it would probably have to be a herbivore because I know that thing won't eat me.
Yeah, no, see,
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. I was just like, baby
dinosaur.
baby
Done.
velociraptor, I'll take it.
I'll grow up and then eat your face.
I think one of the most fascinating characters, as much as he had a bit of a refined personality, is Ian Malcolm.
I liked Malcolm a lot.
Yeah.
I
Me
think
too.
that he, as much as I really didn't necessarily get the quotes at the beginning of the chapters, I liked his. I am completely on key with his philosophy on the end of the world and how the world really isn't going to end.
Yeah.
Human extinction
I loved
is
that.
a probability, but I thought that it was fascinating how he explored the idea of.
And he was really right. I mean, we are so cocky to think that we're going to be the reason the world ends. It's lived
Yeah.
for billions of years, and we are going to destroy it. Like, that's really cocky thinking.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
I don't
things
know.
like,
I liked
even though,
how he
like,
said that.
like the whole play of the book is like the whole message of the book is like playing God, because the thing is we decided to bring back creatures that had been extinct for millions of years, and the thing is these creatures are bigger than us and will eat us if they get the chance. And the thing is we see that cool, we create a theme park with living dinosaurs, but what happens when things go wrong? The thing is, as we saw, they got loose, things went extremely wrong, and which is a big difference from the movie. So spoiler alert if anyone hadn't read the book before the movie. Like the guy who created these creatures ends up dying from his own creation. So it's kind of like, you
you're
know,
talking about Hammond.
yeah, it had it. You know, the thing is, so it's like, which it didn't happen in the movie, by the way, but it did happen in the book. So it's like you create these creatures, but the thing is, you ended up dying from the thing that you created yourself.
Created his own monster.
I mean,
Kinda like
even
Frankenstein,
just
yeah.
to think that, like, so even if nothing did go wrong, like, the fact that you just can't control them. So, like, Hammond was saying, or Hammond was having that discussion with the geneticist, who was like, well, they're not real dinosaurs. He's like, but they are real dinosaurs, but they're not, because they're not what they actually were like. We had to replace some DNA parts, so they're not animals you can control. You can't train a dinosaur like a dog. I don't care what it says about the new movie where what's his name, Chris Pratt, who's just like, I got you guys trained. No, they're dinosaurs. They're wild animals. They're going to go
There's a
based
big
off
plot
of
hole in the movie. It's
instinct.
like, why would you do that again?
Yeah, exactly. Like, did you learn the first time? But like, you can't control the animals. So even if the electricity didn't go out, they're still breeding. They're still getting on the boat. They're still getting to the mainland. They're still eating people and babies. Like, that's terrible. Like, these things aren't meant to be contained.
Yeah, and like he also wrote a sequel to this called The Lost World, which they made into a movie, which shows what happened when these things actually got off the island into our modern day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it kind of shows like, maybe things are meant to die, like things that go extinct, maybe they're meant to just stay extinct. Yeah.
You could look at it that way. I think it was they had a relatively fascinating idea, but the way that it was executed, I think there was so much that went wrong, and I think that it was poorly planned. I think that
Not
it was...
only that, like, so many. Like, even not the ones that they were just, like, breeding. Just, they were like, oh, we have 215 animals. Why do you need that many dinosaurs?
Yeah.
You really only
on
need
one
a
island.
few of each breed. If you, like, maybe if you want to have a Tyrannosaurus Rex, one or two of them to... As an
And even
exhibit.
that, look what the
many.
destruction they did.
But
Let's just take
you know
out the T-Rex.
what fascinated me was that the Tyrannosaurus Rex only existed for a the later part of the general existence of the dinosaurs. Out of so many million years, they were only there for the last 30%, 35% or so.
Yeah.
And some of these dinosaurs weren't even from the Jurassic period, some of them were from the Cretaceous
Which
period.
they did say that, and that's what I like the books, that if they're going to reference history and prehistory and all of that, at least they're doing it correctly. So they did flat out say, like, oh yeah, this one's from the Cretaceous period.
I think Michael Crichton did a great job with his research. I just think that the character should have known more about amphibians, and Michael Crichton needs to do a better job developing female brats, or brats in general.
Yes.
Yeah.
He did a terrible job trying to make a child.
I mean, they were still annoying in the movie, so I guess they got that right.
But, I mean, I guess also if you kind of think about it, Hammond has how much money to buy an island and create dinosaurs. Chances are he's feeding some of that money to his kid who has these children. So they're probably spoiled for a reason. But even so, like, Lex was she was way too much for me. Like, I got angry. There were even a few lines where I skipped it. Like, if I knew she was talking, I was like, I'm not even reading this because it's going to make me angry. Like,
Me evaluating it, I feel I don't have much of a choice. But then again, there's books that I feel that I will never read, which I mentioned that in a video that I put together.
and even going back to how, like, they totally overlooked the amphibian thing, I do agree that I don't think any scientist would actually overlook that bit of information, but at the same time, Hammond struck me as the kind of person, I don't care, just do it, get this done by tomorrow, just do it.
Yeah.
So when you have that kind of pressure on your
I
back,
can imagine
some people...
you're not going to be able to...
Yeah, and who knows if
But
that was
they
like the only
should-
amphibian that would work.
if they're-
Yeah, exactly. It
If
could have been
their
a snake,
major
too.
intent was, we want to keep them all female,
You
then...
would look into it, and
Look
that's what I'm
into
saying.
it,
I don't
yeah.
think any actual scientist would do it. But I'm not gonna totally say it's.
Well, it's
like, you know what I'm saying.
it's
Like,
got to work like that for the book.
yeah,
you know,
like
like,
it just
in
Hammond
real
strikes me
life.
as the kind of person who's like, do that now, and they're like, okay,
Yeah.
click, and then
Also, I think like the
done.
fact that I think greed was a big part of it too. The thing is like they sometimes with businesses, especially with dealing with animals, they get kind of greedy and get deals with animal neglect. So the thing is, maybe the thing is like he just wanted these creatures to be made. He just wanted them to be there, and didn't really care about the repercussions. And then when the repercussions happened, he had to deal with them.
And the geneticist had such a great idea where it's like, hey, maybe we should make these things a little less ferocious. And he's like, nah, they're dinosaurs. They're supposed to be ferocious. Who cares if they eat people? Like, to me, that was just kind of like, duh. on Hammond's part. Like, I understand what you're trying to do, but if somebody's never seen a dinosaur, are they really gonna know if you genetically changed it to make it less mean?
I'm sure that we
Those
really don't know
velociraptors
what.
were mean.
Yeah.
Like, they were fun.
Interesting character I thought was Ed Regis, the tour guide.
The one that ran away.
He ran away. Yeah, he struck me as what I would feel that many television hosts and game show hosts are like.
I'm not gonna lie, I probably would and
Oh.
I would have done the same thing. If I see a dinosaur coming after me, I'm gonna run. I'm not gonna sit in the car like everybody else. Like,
Yeah.
those people are not sane.
But the way it happened, the way
it
he did
happened
it was
was
hysterical.
funny.
And he was a pretty arrogant individual himself.
Grant's just like, sit still, don't move. And I'm like, it's a dinosaur.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, this is a
it's not-
Tyrannosaurus Rex, and you're just like, nah, it's okay, just sit still, don't move.
I mean,
We'll
that's
see
actually
this.
kind of true. Like dinosaur
Which is-
T-Rexes had bad eyesight. The thing
Yeah.
is, like, they could not tell if something was moving or not.
Which I get, but like,
Yeah,
the
I still
kids
would've
even
run.
listen to him. They're like, yeah, okay, we're gonna listen to this guy. Like, I feel like a human's first instinct when coming in contact with something like that, again, I could be wrong, but is to holy words that I can't say on this YouTube channel, I need to run. So,
Yeah.
I
like,
think some of us cursed on the channel before.
not the words I was gonna use. So, not gonna do that. But, like, I mean, this thing is massive. Like, I can't even picture it in my head. I just keep thinking about that scene in the movie where it's like walking up to the porta potty. Like, that thing is huge. And you're trying to tell me that you're just be like, no, I'm just gonna sit here. You won't see me. Like, and be calm
Yeah.
like that. Like,
I mean,
no.
it could technically work.
It would
it's
work.
just- but-
yeah,
Yeah.
totally. But
But-
nobody's gonna
Still,
instinctively
he
do
just,
it.
Was he just hiding there, or was he actually using it?
He was hiding there.
Yeah, he was hiding in the porta
okay. I
potty.
thought he
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
really need to see the movie. It's
Yeah.
hysterical.
Okay.
Yeah, because he doesn't have his pants down. But I'm just like, if I saw that,
Yeah.
I would have.
That
You
would
know,
be
it'd be a
hysterical
great
if
place
he-
to be in a toilet because seeing a gigantic dinosaur tear down a porta potty. Yeah, that's the time I need to go.
Yeah. You really need to see it. Like,
Yeah.
we should all get together and just watch it.
Okay. Alrighty then. Do we have any final thoughts?
This is kind of the thing that I absolutely loved as a kid because of the things I like dinosaurs.
Yeah, it's a great. I watched it so many times as a kid and
I think
It's-
even
terrifying
Yeah.
now. Like I look at it and I'm like, oh no, I would just like freak out.
yeah, like, how did we watch this? Now,
Yeah.
I think, like, even if you don't like dinosaurs, it is a really thrilling kind of book. It keeps you on your seat, trying to figure out, oh my god, are they gonna make it through this jungle, this prehistoric jungle, and make it back? Are these people gonna live? Like, what's gonna happen? So full of suspense. Somebody said the New York Times. That's
Trust
what
them.
it is. Trust them.
Okay. Sometimes.
Sometimes.
I would say I didn't like it as much as the three of you. I thought the research was remarkable. I think that some of the characters had great things to contribute, and it I can only feel for Tim because of his sister, but and I thought Malcolm was fascinating. Grant was a bit of a mixed bag.
Which, props to Grant for not, like, backhanding her, because there's so many times where
Oh,
they've
yeah.
been like, I don't care if you're not my kid, shut up.
I thought Grant was a great sport for being
He
able to take
was-
on the kids.
Yeah, he was
But
great.
at the when they were on the tour and they were looking at the little dinosaur, and he was the way that he was handling it, to the fact that it caused it to act up, and he just kept doing it even when he was told not to. I think
Yeah.
that was a bit of
I don't think he even meant to. I think it was just like, this is a live dinosaur, let me look
Yeah.
at it.
I mean, it is kind of fascinating since I think he's like an archaeologist or whatever.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a paleontologist.
Seeing like a live creature, the bones that you
Yeah.
studied, you're gonna.
That's gonna be
you're-
huge.
And I can
Yeah.
even say that because I originally went to school for archaeology. I'm actually even considering getting my undergrad in it again because that's always been something
Yeah,
that I've
same.
loved. So, like, just to think about, like, the things you've been digging up for years, you're holding it in your
Yeah.
hand and it's alive and breathing. Like, that's got to be incredible
Mhm.
to think about. Like, it was a bad idea that we brought the dinosaurs back, and I
But
said,
it's still pretty cool.
yeah, but it's still pretty cool. I'd still pay to see a dinosaur.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. How would we rate it? 0 to 5 stars, half stars permitted. Dan?
I'm gonna give it a 5. Definitely, it's like I'm a big fan of the movies. And the thing is, I definitely love the books, and I definitely read the sequel, even though we didn't discuss it here. I don't know. It just brings back a lot of childhood memories, and it's just. I love the fact that it's a little different than the movie. So the thing is, like, there's some surprises in it, and the thing is, I just like it.
I'm going with a 4, mostly because of Lex. Lex is the
Yeah,
minus
yeah.
star
Yeah.
for me. She drove me insane.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't handle her. But everything else, I mean, like you said, the research was great. It was definitely suspenseful. I didn't want to stop reading it. It was something that I was like, man, I can't wait to get home so I can read my book. Like that's how I felt about it. So I 4 stars for me.
So I'm rating it 4 stars. Again, it's the kind of like nostalgia thing. I watched the movies a lot as a kid, and yeah, Michael Crichton's one of my favorite authors. So yeah, 4 stars.
I'm giving it a 3.5 because I thought the research was remarkable. I think that it was a well-developed piece. I think it did its job as a thriller, but I think that Lex's character was. I think that there's characters that are very well developed and dislikable. I think that Lex's character, she's so dislikable.
She really killed it. Like.
But she's poorly written too, because Michael, as you said and as I made mention to, he tried too hard to make her a brat, even during circumstances where a brat would really not be acting like a brat. Because if a brat is on top of a burning building, they're still going to want to get down. They're not going to act like a rat.
They're gonna recognize
Yeah.
danger and not be like, "Hey, I'm hungry. You gonna feed me anytime soon?"
And I
Done
also,
yet?
I also feel that this really was building into the idea that it is a franchise that's more than just the book itself. I think that it was looking to, which granted the movie came out shortly thereafter, and with Michael Crichton being being a scriptwriter that he was. That I think he had that mentality of that some writers have, that when they write the book, they have the intention that it's going to become a movie.
Yeah, and the fact that the franchise is still going on today, like with.
It definitely was successful.
It's not that it has been very successful, but I think that mentality that your book is definitely going to become a movie and write it in that nature, it's writing to a certain audience, but I think that it's just the way that I perceive it, and it sometimes takes away from.
I guess that makes sense, but I still go with 5.
And that's your opinion.
True.
If you're interested in checking out Jurassic Park, here is a copy that Jesi and I have.
Sorry.
But yeah, I got mine from a paperback exchange store that's no longer open. It was beyond. It was less than the general trade price. So.
I got mine from the library.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
The library a lot.
I do, because I'm trying not to spend money on books.
How's
Because
that going for you?
it's really hard.
Doesn't
I
work
spend
for
a
me.
lot of money on
You can
books.
see. Be sure to join us next time for another episode of Tori Gladiators. And for now, keep reading.
Bye.